song. Hey guys, what's up? It's week 4. We've made it to the last week of MetFix Spark. That's crazy. Time flies when you're eating clean and having fun. Question that we can kind of talk about a bit to get the conversation going. What is one health outcome you're measuring, and what information are you getting from it?
For me, it's obviously it's on the Staiku scan. The only ones that I'm on all the measurements, honestly. So everything
Yeah.
I have from body fat to the lean mass, and I'm just going to see because I didn't make crazy changes. I've been off the process, off the alcohol this whole entire time. But what I did was basically zero fruit. So
Okay.
that was the only change because usually, like I said, every now and then I'd still do the blueberries and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? For these next 4 weeks, I'm gonna cut the fruit and just see if that makes any real big change. And
Yeah.
the information that I'm going to get is basically what you're teaching us. We're just seeing if that, even though it's still fructose, but seeing if cutting it out can make a difference.
Yeah.
Everything else is already on point, so that one change we'll be able to see.
That's awesome. That's legit. How about you?
Yeah, I check the Staiku once in a while, and then also the wood blood testing was very useful with a lot of the different markers on there.
75 or 76 markers? I can't
Something
remember.
like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of markers.
A number of markers. So looking at especially like some of the blood sugar markers and things are interesting to see, and I am looking to see how those change over the next several months if there's any
Awesome.
in them. So
yeah, the one that I'm really checking. So my fasting insulin is like 3.2. It's solid. I'm not worried about that because I can't remember last time I even had fruit. But it's muscle mass. It's lean mass for me, right? So I want to make sure that every day that I get closer to like end of life, which is every day that you're aging, right? I want to make sure that the PRs are great, but I want to see that lean muscle coming up, right? Because I haven't changed much in weight at all. I still can't get below 130, but I went down another size in pants, like I told you, and my lifts are getting heavier. So I'm very excited next week to staiku myself and see how much lean mass I've gained. Because that's my game now is like how muscular for a health standpoint can I get and stay and age and not lose that, right? I don't want to fall into that. Um, I know a lot of the people that are doing this that are not here tonight for the meeting, scale weight loss is huge. That's generally the biggest one across the board. And then those that could get their insulin numbers then know they need to come down. They'll probably wait a couple months to do that. So it's all great information. I mean, whatever you're tracking, you're looking for a positive change and you're seeing what changing your food does to give you a positive outcome. And that's what I love about this program. It doesn't matter what your goal is. You're going to see positive outcomes if you make some changes by whether it's the MetFix General Diet, Definitive, Practical, whatever it is. Like cutting carbs is essential to health and wellness, body composition, performance, and everything. So let's wrap it up with a few things. I'm going to bring up my notes so I don't miss anything. So the theory of the MetFix definitive diet. I love this. I'm going to start at the end and work my way up. It's what we talked about last week, and that's why I want to start with it. We had those charts of like how much fat do I need, how much protein by my body weight times this and that. And as much as I don't need everyone to have to weigh and ration and macro balance forever, when we're doing that, and we know the ratios that we're supposed to eat, protein, carb, and fat, and the quantity within that, right? So we're not like, hey, I need to eat a lot of fat. It's 2 sticks of butter, we're fantastic. Like we know that we need to get real sustenance and different things in our body. And then it takes away that loose quantitative values. Like, well, I have some protein. I have a good amount of fat. I have extra, yeah, I feel like I do pretty good. Like it's close to my hand, whatever, that size. When we do it for a while and we get to learn what the plate should look like. So like for me, I know one place that I could probably change if I wanted to see a drop in scale weight of losing a little bit of fat faster is to lessen my protein because my protein becomes the biggest source of my fat from fatty meats. But then I also cook it in butter, and I have A2 cream in my coffee, and I have A2 sour cream with my meat. So I'm getting a ton of fat, and I'm still getting a lot of protein because I could scale that back a bit. So for me, if I was like, okay, instead of my normal, like I'm generally at like 120 grams of protein and then like maybe 135 plus of fat and then 10 grams of carbs every day, right? I could say, Lori, realistically, you could be at 110 to 115. You could be at 120 grams of fat and keep your carbs that way, which means I got to go easy on the homemade cappuccinos because that's where I get my carbohydrates. It's from the half and half. So if I really wanted to see how lean I could get without losing muscle and keep up my performance, this is something I could do. And again, it negates that loose, a little bit of carbs, a slight amount of fat, maybe a little bit of higher fat today. It's like it's actual numbers. I know what I'm doing, and I could follow that for a week, and I could simplify doing that by just eating the same thing for a week. Like Ty, I know you and I have talked about that. We'll grill the meat and we'll just eat the same thing, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Like Tim, variety does not have to be the spice of life. Like I think every morning we both have 3 eggs cooked in ghee, and then we add a few ounces of beef, chicken, fish, whatever it is for a little extra protein, and we hit the floor, hit the ground running, right out the door, out to work, doing all of that. Um,
Yeah, I would say for almost 400 days now. Chicken leg quarters in the morning, 2 of those, and asparagus, or if I don't do asparagus, then like 5 eggs. It's
that's
the same
legit.
thing.
Yeah,
I
I
know exactly what you're getting.
I think the beauty. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, yeah, for me, it's eggs, but then I'll fix the eggs differently. Sometimes I'll make it in an omelet. And sometimes I'll make the eggs as a fried egg. Generally throw the lid on it so it kind of cooks
Poaches
it
it.
slow and keeps the yolk not too cooked and that sort of thing. But then I'll microgreens with it one day. Maybe I'll do some herbs, do some different spices. Sometimes I like to put in turmeric.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like always the same basic things, but then I flavor it differently. Keep it
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. Before I move on, I don't want to forget about metabolic flexibility within this too. So most of you are getting more like 60 to 70 carbs within a ketogenic way of eating or within a low carb way of eating if you're not fully ketogenic, dependent upon protein and fat ratios to that. But again, why this is important is when you're at a 12-hour day of work at the hospital because you're working and you don't get a break and you've burned through all the blueberries that you had in your full fat unsweetened yogurt, your body is trained then to pull from stored body fat to make fuel. So for someone like Ty and myself and Tim, when we're in here working out, oh, you're fine. And we have like a 45-minute grind, or yesterday's high rocks class was 30 minutes of just incessant running and lunging and all the different things. I never run out of energy. I sustain my energy through the whole Metcon. Like Murph will be a whole different Murph this year, right? It's a whole new ball game, and it helps us dispel that rumor that carbs are the primary source of fuel, right? So going back to week 2, there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. Fats and proteins carry all the essential amino acids and fatty acids. And at the end of the day, when we learn how to balance them in a great ratio that's not loosely based on I feel like it might be, we're helping our body gain and sustain metabolic flexibility, right? Let's see what else.
I noticed that 3 months staying pretty much ketogenic. It doesn't matter if I eat before my workout. It doesn't matter if I eat after my workout. It doesn't really change that much.
Yeah,
I don't have to. I
yeah,
don't have to time my meals anymore. It's just like
yeah,
eat when it's time to eat. Don't
yeah.
worry about
You know what I noticed in the past year, and this will resonate with someone watching this, when I'd have to do fasting blood work, which is, it's always fasting, it's for hormone replacement therapy or for the annual, cholesterol or whatever, metabolic things. And you're like, oh my God, there's nothing before 10 o'clock. There's no way I can get up at 7 and not eat till after 10. And I would get dizzy or I'd get cranky, hangry, whatever you want to call it. And now I could literally just be like, oh, well, 11:30 is fine. I mean, it sucks because I can't work out because when I work out, that really gets my glucose going when I work out hard. Like everybody's goes up a little bit, and I don't want to skew numbers like that. But I don't need to eat. Some days after water and vitamins, I'll just have like homemade cappuccino and then go another 5, 6 hours without eating. So when your body learns how to do that, it's a whole different world because you're not like road tripping and like, where's the next in and out? Like, people go down I-5 with their kids in the car or family and friends, and they're like plotting out the places to eat on the drive down because no one can go more than 4 hours without eating. This whole definitive diet of it makes it possible to not be a slave to food, snacks for energy, right? It's a beautiful thing. So the practical diet of it, again, back to the beginning: eat meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some starch, little fruit, no sugar, no seed oils, prioritizing whole foods from animals and plants to create satiety. Satiety, again, is being full, right? From the cellular level throughout the body. Like, hey, cells are feeling good. They close it. I know I'm done eating. And now I stay satiated for X amount of hours, depending on what I ate, right? If it's a low carb, moderate protein, high fat meal, you could go 6, 7 hours before you're like, I forgot to eat, or oh, my energy's coming down a bit, I should eat again, right? Instead of like always needing like pulling out a protein bar out of your pocket, right? If there's really that much protein in it anyway, it's better off the beef stick. And then the MetFix general diet, again, that was back to the quantity of food. So if I'm going to do 1 gram of fat per body pound, moderate protein and low carbs, that was that next step if we're going into that. So from everything we took over the last 3 weeks, building on it with this fourth one, it's just kind of putting it all together and really taking a moment to be like, okay, my goal was to, some goals were to cut out rice and to cut my fruit in half and learn how to lower my blood sugar, right? So how are people doing with that? It's a time to sit down tomorrow. You're going to watch this video tonight. And tomorrow morning, you're going to get up and you're going to open the fridge and you're going to make your breakfast and you're going to sit down and eat, and you're going to look at your plate and be like, is it something that supports metabolic flexibility? Am I going to get satiated and maybe not even have to finish my plate? Am I going to eat all my food and feel full for an hour? Did I somehow find myself putting rice with my breakfast? Like, where are you at? It's a great time to really hone in on the changes you've made and look back at your goals from day one. And then it's a good time to reach out to your coaches too. Like, if you're like, hey, I did better, but I want to keep going. So how do I keep this momentum going forward? Right? Because that's the question. It's not like the end of week 4 hits, you're like, all time. Like, your nutrition and health and fitness is an absolute continuum. Like, it might look like a heartbeat sometimes, like a really horrible one coming down, up, or just constant. But it's not like you get to a point and your heart rate just stops registering. It's always beating. Your need for eating right and taking care of yourself is always there. So even when you reach all of your goals, how do you look forward to a life of maintaining what you've learned from MetFix Sparks? And that's a big question too, right? I feel like, okay, hey, I need some help. We're here to help. Any coach can help you. We even put together, what was it like? I can't remember the price of it now. I think it was like $100 for a one-on-one with a coach to set up everything for 4 more weeks of nutrition, whether it is literally tell me what to eat each meal, or 1 week at a time, absolutely the same, whatever it is, or just really help me do my macros because I tried it myself and I feel like I'm a little off on that. So to help people with that, Ty, Tim, myself, Brandy's gone through MetFix training, a couple other coaches out there that get it. Like, whoever you want to work with to keep you going, that's an option too. Any questions about anything else on this? I think the other thing to remember is like, I'll relate it to High Rocks because CrossFitters, the ones that voted for it are here for High Rocks. And the ones that don't like running more than 200 meters, like, won't even come near the building when the class is going on because they lack capacity. They can't build their, they crap out when the carbs burn out. It's like how I see them in the class. And it's all the people I know how they eat. So I'm not just generalizing that or making a guess. I know how they eat because I always talk about it. So one of the things that is with these adjustments, you're going to build capacity and you're going to run for on and off for 40 minutes on Wednesday or Friday with high rocks. And it's not going to be hard. Like, how did you feel yesterday with 3,000 meters of running with your knees being tired from lunges the day before? Like,
It's fine. I was like,
yeah,
there's no energy issues whatsoever.
yeah. And that's the thing that I think for those people that are happy with their body composition and there's not much they want to change aesthetically, but they still don't perform or keep up with their kids or grandkids or do the things that they want to do without having to stop and be like, that's hard. I'm going to take a breath. Or no, I really want to do this workout. Or I'm not doing the open because I get too crazy winded in the workouts in class and I'm embarrassed to stop in the middle of the workout when someone's judging me. Like we hear this, you gain so much capacity and you'll have so much energy, so much more energy for workouts too. And that's something we should talk about because there are a lot of people who you look at them not knowing what's going on the inside with blood work. And you're like, they're fit. Let's go. And then they gas out. They take off fast on round 1 out of 4. And by the middle of round 2, they're just like, and taking long breaks or can't get through an EMOM. The other thing we'll talk about before we wrap it up is when you remember, and this is from Glassman, like way back in the day, like just eat the calories you need to support health and energy, but also don't have you storing fat that you can't utilize for energy, right? So what do we do to stick to quantities that discourage body fat? Like what's the number one? I know you know the answer, so I'm calling on you so someone else can say it out loud. How do we discourage gaining body fat?
One of the biggest things is to stop snacking.
Yeah.
Because of our modern life, we end up sitting in front of screens and just mindlessly eating because we're not thinking. So that's I think the biggest one for me, and that's one thing I actually have recently found more. It's just like, oh, okay, done eating. I'm done until I mean to eat again. I'm not just going to eat for no reason. I'm going to do it when I decide to eat.
Yeah.
Eat with purpose.
I'm glad you said something. That's why it's nice to hear it from you because no one would think that Tim would ever like just sit and overeat or eat when he's not hungry. Yeah.
I hold you in so much of a high regard. Maybe I could be wrong about you all these years.
He gave me Raynaud's syndrome. No kidding. No, but like the thing that's interesting is when you were younger, like in your teens and 20s ski racing, just guess how many calories you ate a day.
My guess is around 10,000, but I've
10,000 calories there as well.
At the point where people would threaten to close down the buffet, and stuff like that.
I wish everyone could see your faces as you're a person. Damn it!
Basically, I was tired,
of eating. He's too tired to cut the meat.
Not even full. I'm just tired of eating.
My arms tired.
So it was something where, and I was, training a lot and staying, pretty lean throughout that. But that was just, the thing is that, probably I, drew the good card and I, so that didn't make me gain a lot of weight. But it doesn't mean I didn't have problems developing because of it. And that's the thing is that now that I wish that I had known that because I probably would have performed a lot better had I done it a different way. And that was just something that, and my health would be better than it is. My health's pretty good, but there's some things that, I think would be better if I had known what I know now. So
hindsight's 2020. How about you? What's the number one thing you think about? Like, hey, I'm keep this fat off, and I don't want to put any unnecessary body fat on, so I'm never going to do, or I'm always going to do. Like,
I'm never under any circumstance will I drink calories.
Yeah, drinking calories is a big one.
Drinking calories. I had cut the whole soda out a long time ago, but it's still, there'd be times I remember breakfast I'd have an orange juice here and there, like back in the day, or obviously even though everyone talks about vodka being something, but that's still calories. Like I would always still drinking something calories.
Yeah.
And so that's one of those things that it sneaks up on you because, you'll freaking knock back 3 or 4, and you're like, well, if they're even at 100 each, we're up to 500 now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, shit.
7 calories a gram per was it? 70 grams per calorie per alcohol. Is that right?
Yeah, something. Yeah,
So it's nine for fat.
Oh, 7. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's 9 for fat, 7 for alcohol,
And then 4 and 4.
for protein and carbohydrate. Calories per gram.
Yeah.
Per calorie.
I think for the parents, there's a lot of parents in MetFix Sparks program. That's what's getting the kids faster than anything, because the milk they serve at school is chocolate or non-fat, which has the higher carb count on it. Pretty sure it was only chocolate when I was in elementary school. Orange juice, apple juice. Anytime you go and get a kid's meal at a thing, like a restaurant, it's apple juice. And you're just like, that's just like crazy. So
I actually got almost kicked out of a party over Christmas time because there was all these kids and they're just at the house and they're like watching and sneak these freaking sodas.
are you serious?
I just started knocking them out of everyone's hand. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, are you gonna watch this? I watched this kid just drink freaking 3 of these in 15 minutes because all the adults are just talking things out, not paying attention. And you're absolutely you hit on the head.
Yeah.
These kids are hooked on the sugar.
They are.
When they know that no one's watching.
And then parents are like, why is my kid such a pain in the ass today? Or so, and you're like, because they just had 450 calories from sugar in 3 sodas. It's at least 150 a kind, right?
Yeah. And that's in a 15-minute window. Like,
dude, they're chugging like a frat party now. Dr. Pepper. Someone's in a handstand drinking it. No, I'm kidding. But no, seriously, I think the real shitty thing is that your Starbucks, your Dunkin' Donuts coffee, which I didn't know was a thing. My daughter's friend loves their drinks. And I was like, I've never even had a Dunkin' I've never even tasted one. So why would I go to one? But they have like coffee drinks that make Starbucks look like diet drinks. This shit's crazy. Like, I'm not gonna, like 500 grams or 500 calories. And there's only, about 50 calories from what little protein there is from the new sugar sweetened cream protein. Have you seen that? They're all doing that now. Starbucks does it too. They're like, have a Dubai chocolate latte with protein cream. Guys, so copacetic right now, some protein. Getting closer to my 110 grams today. Like, but I say it in like as a joke, but people that don't know, they don't know. So they're like, oh my God, my drink just got better for me.
We're almost in the same mindset of everyone in the 90s with that free nonsense.
Snackwells. Do they still make those? No. Do you think someone has, because they don't go bad, so some old woman is going to pass away and her niece that's cleaning out the house is going to sell them on Poshmark for like $100 a box? Because some woman misses that chocolate one with the thin layer of marshmallow and the crappy chocolate cake. Snackwells, so good for you. Yeah, so I think it's just a reminder, the drinks, never drinking your calories, which is really it's all carbs, all sugar, is a big one.
If you stop snacking and stop drinking your carbohydrates, those are two of the biggest things that you can do.
Yeah.
I think that's I've seen more people turn themselves around from dropping one or both of those.
Yeah. What's kind of cool, what we have like the Pellegrino in a glass bottle shipped in from Italy of just sparkling water. And I'll have that at night. And it's so refreshing. And then on times when people want to party and drink around you, just like pour that in your wine glass and drink it if you feel like you're missing the party. And it's such a switch, because I remember like to be around people, because this is a big thing too. All the adults in here wanted to drink less that are drinking now, that are in the program. And I used to tell people like, oh, have a kombucha, make like a ginger ale mule or something, do something else. And then you're like, that's a lot of fucking sugar. So then you're like, unsweetened sparkling water without artificial sweeteners. So I enjoy the Pellegrino, just straight up sparkling water from Italy. I drank that all over Italy too. I find it to be satisfying. And then if there's ever a time where I'm like, oh, I want a glass of wine or something, I'll just have that. And then I'm good. More tips and tricks. Okay. Why is it a life hack? It shouldn't be a life. Everyone should do this. But what's the life hack in that cooking all your food at home makes you at least 50% healthier than when you go out to eat all the time. What is it that you glean from cooking at home?
You know what's in your food is the first thing.
What's in your food?
And if you went to the store and shopped with purpose, you know that there's nothing in your house that's going to harm you.
True. What else? So you're in control of what you're eating because you're cooking it at home. But what else about that food? What else about it? If I'm getting a burger at In-N-Out, is it just as good as making a burger at home? It's the quality of the food, the meats, especially the quality of it. So you can control like the seed oils, you can keep out the sugar, but like these animal products and vegetables, organic, you grew it at home, you made it at home, you bought Prather Ranch meat at the farmer's market. Now okay, the quality is looking like a solid A, nothing lower than A minus across the board. And then what's the other thing? When you serve up your plate instead of someone else serving you,
You get to put as much on there as you need.
as much as you need instead of the big ass servings. Anyone else remember Claim Jumper is always my example. Does anyone ever, you walk in to the hostess stand and to the right of it is the dessert thing and there's a 7-layer chocolate cake. It's not 3, not double down chocolate, 7, taller than this, right? 3, 4, 5. This is like maybe a 5-layer. It's wild. It was wild.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You're not going to make a 7-layer chocolate cake at home.
Slice.
Literally. Yeah. So, portion size is, huh?
I said, welcome to my teenage days.
That was around when you were a teenager?
No.
7-layer chocolate cake? Okay. I was like, dude, that was in the 90s for me. I didn't know it was before that. The other thing, we talk about like how do we measure our foods, make it good and control the quality, what we talked about, cooking as much as you can from home. But why is it important in 90 days after you started or 120 days after you started this to recheck your blood work?
To make sure that what you're doing is working.
Yeah.
And the results are obviously speaking to the effort that's
Yeah.
put in. You obviously need to know, because that will also tell you if there's holes.
Yeah.
If there's something that you're doing wrong.
Yeah, well, it also tells you your HbA1c or the A1C is the marker of how much damage is being done in your body over the course of 90 days.
How's that glycation going?
Gives you a reasonable measure to see that you have it right yet, or if things still going wrong. So that one kind of plays off some insulin.
I like it. Okay, so the markers that we did in the intake, I'll email to everyone again so you know when it's time to check the STIKU or blood work or whatever it is. You can compare start to finish. If you're like, I want to do a few more weeks, I want to get 6 weeks in, do what you need to do, but absolutely recheck what you did. Or it's sort of like you learned some stuff, but you don't know if you did it well enough to make a change, right? That's what we're looking for. So body weight, if you're going to use the scale as your point because you're like, I don't have time in the morning to come in fasted and STIKU or whatever, make sure your scale weight is in the morning, fasted, even before you drink water. Go to the bathroom, hop on the scale, right? Hip to waist ratio, it's okay too. You could do that. Measure at the belly button, widest part of the hips, right? Blood pressure, we still have for our members. We've left it in the office this whole time, so you can come check your BP. Resting heart rate, we could do that too. Body fat percentage, STIKU is good. We do have calipers, but whatever you do, keep it consistent. Don't measure your body fat every time with a different modality, because then it's going to be kind of all over the place. Don't do that. And then the insulin, triglyceride, and HDL, the 2 cholesterol markers that are important, and the insulin, the most important. You can do that every, I would say like every 12 weeks. I wouldn't do that sooner than 3 months. And then if you're like, I'm really trying to get into metabolic flexibility, how do I know my glucose isn't getting too high? You can do a CGM. That's a great tool as you're coming off the carbs to measure how food's affecting you and seeing that. Again, it's not an insulin measurement, but knowing that you're eating and keeping that glucose pretty steady without major spikes. like a sushi roll did to me, right? Like I was just like, hey, 70, 80 at the most. And it was like 180 something. So you can definitely use that for that. And then for my people that are really trying to go ketogenic, you could go on Amazon, again, get those little urine strips for ketones. There's also a breath measurement thing, whatever fits in your budget. And you can just kind of keep an eye on that, because it is nice to know, like, working my ass off here, and then the ketone strip is dark. You're like, yes. Plus, you should see the fat burning too, but nonetheless. And then always just be cognizant of your perception. Are you hungrier, less hungry? Do certain days affect you differently? I, ironically enough, am hungriest on the days I don't train, and I can't figure it out because it used to be the opposite. And maybe when I sit more and I'm not too busy, I'm like, oh, it's been 4 hours. I'm hungry. Maybe it's a psychological thing, but that is something that I try to keep in my back pocket. Like, why is this happening? Don't eat more today. You're not even training today. Don't do that. Remembering that it's a continuum, but it goes up and down. Nobody consistently lose weight until they can't lose anymore and stop, and then it goes up, just be kind to yourself. Like water retention, if you take creatine and the muscle's holding on to more fluid, that can put you up a few pounds overnight for no good reason. Like Tim, the other night, you're like, how the hell did I jump on the scale? There's no rhyme or reason. Things fluctuate. It's not a big deal. You could have had a high cortisol day. You could have had really crappy sleep. You could have taken the creatine after a hard barbell class, and that can affect the weight. So don't live or die by the scale weight or a measurement that you check every day that looks more like a little tiny rhythm up and down, because it's not just going to continuously go down if you have a lot of weight to lose, or continuously go up if you're trying to build muscle. So the positive framing and the mindset that you keep while you're making